Well, it's 6:45 and we have a quorum, so it doesn't matter. We will call the meeting to order and start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's do a little roll call here too, because we'll give him a second over there, and I'll start with Jane Murdoch on my left. Board of Finance, there you go. Make sure the microphones are working.
Bill Campion, Board of Finance. Eric Rothengren, City Council, District 1.
Cheryl Tebow, City Council, District 3.
Jeff Caggiano, Mayor.
Sebastian Pinheiro, City Council, District 1.
Jacqueline Olson, City Council, District 2.
Mark Dickow, City Council, District 3.
Sue Tyler, City Council, District 2.
Glenn Heiser, Board of Finance.
David Mikowski, Board of Finance. John Mace, Board of Finance.
Ah, see, I knew if I waited a second, we'd get one. Marie, we're just doing introductions. If you can come off mute, it'd be great to make sure it's working too.
Yep. Are you ready for me? I'm Marie O'Brien, Board of Finance.
Perfect timing, actually. Thank you. So we definitely have a quorum, so we'll move on to number 2, which is the approval of the minutes. We can do them both together. We're going to do the regular joint meeting held on May 13th and the joint budget meeting held on May 19th. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Great. Any comments, additions, changes, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Our consent agenda is A through J. Does anybody wish to withdraw anything from the consent agenda? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
No moved.
Second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That motion carries. Number 4 is the purchasing department bids and contract software. So I'll entertain a motion to transfer $55,000 from the general fund contingency account and to approve an additional appropriation with the equipment building sinking fund for the purchase of bids and contract software for the purchasing department.
Move approval.
Second.
Great. So as many of you know, in the upcoming meeting, you'll see that we have some changes happening in the purchasing department, and they will be tough changes in some cases. But this software is something that we've been talking about for a while. The opportunity is very good now to upgrade our ability to track and keep track of purchase orders and process as we go, because we will be getting a new purchasing agent at the end of July. And the good opportunity for us as well too is we'll have some overlap. So Roger's main function will be to, over the next 6 weeks or so, to get this up and running. And so that's why we're moving this here. So we'll get a couple of chances to say goodbye to Roger, I'm sure, but we're starting already with the tiers. So anybody have any questions or comments on this?
Just one. Roger, how many days? 42.
He's counting. So any other comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Monthly reports. Go ahead, Diane.
Good evening. So hopefully this will be pretty quick. I don't have too much of an update. We're really catching up in the comptroller's office from budget. We are in the process of posting the new budget, and believe it or not, everybody's already put purchase orders in for next year already. So just catching up on a lot of those tasks. We are in the process of preparing the budget document. I think I mentioned that last month as well. We have until mid-August, but my goal is to get it done by January. So we're July, the end of July. So we're hoping to do that. We did have a change in the software a little bit. So I don't want to say we're struggling with that. It's relatively easy, but there's a little bit more involved to bring everything up to date with ClearGov. But we're still hoping for the end of July, first week of August timeframe. So as you know, we're closing out the year. We're actually, when I ran the report this month, I was really surprised. Our revenues are doing very well. So I was able to update our projections. A lot of revenue surpluses in the tax revenues. And again, as I mentioned in the report, primarily from the assessor audits that they've been doing. We were able to bill and collect a lot on that in those areas. And then our current tax revenues are also doing very well. So coming in much better than we had anticipated a couple of months ago, a couple $100,000 more. So that's looking good as we get towards the next couple of weeks. Building permit fees have already exceeded last year's estimates. Same thing with conveyance fees. And our investment earnings right now, our deputy treasurer had given me an estimate of 2.8 through the end of the fiscal year, and I'm really pushing him to, I think you might be trending towards 3 million, so can you do that? So really hoping that we can hit 3 million in our investment earnings this year. Might be close, might be, 2.9 to, I'm struggling for every little dollar right now for this budget. As you know, it's been a difficult one. So on the revenue side, I don't see any issues there. On the expenditure side, we're closing everything out on the city side. There's still a number of purchase orders still outstanding, 4.3 million. A lot of it are things that are contracted, so I don't know how much of those we'll be able to liquidate at the end of the year. On the Board of Education side, as you know, right now they're running at a $9.1 million deficit. That was, as of when I prepared this report, I think what they posted yesterday or today was a little bit more than that. But the one thing that I will say, that does not include the excess cost grants. So hoping that number will come in around $6-7 million when we're all said and done and close everything out. I do mention again that we will be needing fund balance to close out this year. So if anybody has any specific questions, I know you've heard all this before, but a little bit better news. The estimated general fund surplus, not including the overspending of the Board of Ed, was originally 3 million. I think I'm looking at 3 to 3.5 million. So with the revenues that are coming in much better than we had anticipated. So again, that will be used to offset the Board of Ed when we close everything out. Any questions?
Any questions live here? Marie, any questions?
No, I'm very pleased, though, that Diana's reporting just about $1 million more, Diane, than maybe last month's report, but certainly 2 months ago, your estimate. So good news. Let's keep it going. Up.
Well, and hopefully once we close out purchase orders, that will help as well on the city side. Okay,
Great.
that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. All right. The only other quick little thing that I will bring up, and we'll have other opportunities for this as well too, is Glenn Heiser has decided that he will enjoy retirement a little bit more and not be part of the Board of Finance. He's been a great member, so this will be his last meeting on the joint board, but we will get to say goodbye at the Board of Finance meeting. So Glenn, thank you for your service. Thank you, Glenn. Anything else to come before us? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned, and we will start right at 7 p.m., right on time for the council meeting. All right, it's 7 p.m. We are going to call the city council meeting to order, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so for our opening ceremonies tonight, I have one kind of quick one here and then one that will take a little bit of time on. But June is always Migraine Awareness Month, and Renetta Stokes asked us through the Migraine Awareness Foundation to do a proclamation. I'm not going to read the whole proclamation. It's quite long, but I'll do a little part of it. You know, whereas headache disorder, including migraine, cluster headache, new daily persistent headache, spinal CSF leak, orofacial pain disorders, and other neurological headache diseases affect more than 40 million Americans and over 1.1 billion people worldwide. And then it goes on to talk about all those different maladies. So I wanted to make sure that that we covered that. But now, therefore, I, Mayor Jeffrey Caggiano, hereby proclaim June 2025 as Migraine and Headache Awareness Month in Bristol, Connecticut. I encourage all citizens, healthcare professionals, and policymakers to support awareness research and improved access to care for headache disorder. And so it was signed today on June 10th in the year of 2025. So we'll pass that along to Ronetta. The other one that I want to take a little bit of time on is an award that's actually already been presented, but Jackie's going to help me on this one. So we presented this in the Parks Department, and every year we do a Parks Department Person of the Year, somebody who goes above and beyond and makes our parks better. So while I'm announcing this, I'll ask Jackie to come up and Brian Avery to come up to receive his award more formally, and we'll get some pictures. But I'm going to start with Brian Avery first. This is a man who eats mealworms for the kids, in quotation, and this year even got me to eat mealworms with him on video. He puts together the fishing derby every year. That is just a wonderful event. He has done a ton in Quinlan Park and gotten an eagle up in place 2 times, I think, right, Brian? Or was it 3 times? 2 times. And one of the more recent major accomplishments that he had is he single-handedly fundraised, pulled it all together. Got a lot of help from people, but he was the driver for our MIA POW new memorial on Memorial Boulevard, which is just tremendous and beautiful. And Brian, you give so much back to this city. First of all, thank you for your service to this city as a veteran, and thank you very much for your dedication to our veteran parks. So congratulations to you. Let me get a quick picture. Sorry, Jackie, I told you I was the picture. You went there for the picture. Because I already got the picture with him at the parks thing, so no more. Perfect. Thank you. Who's gonna get the box? Oh, I didn't see her. Ronetta, you were hiding behind there. Would you like to come up and say a few words? Did you just get it? No, come on. Oh, you're good. Okay. We'll just no problem. Thank you. Our podium is not placed well. I apologize. I did not see you out there. Is that green light on? I don't think so. Press the little button, the green light will go on.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for recognizing Migraine Awareness Month. Migraine is an invisible disease. See me before you see the disease. I am visible. Migraine is incredibly common, and research, treatment, and cures are highly underfunded. If you ever wonder why I advocate, well, there are 40 million Americans live with migraine and other headache disorders, with only 800 migraine specialists in our country. General neurologists only have at best 4 hours of training in headache medicine. Not only is migraine the second most disabling condition, it's also a full-body neurological condition, with symptoms and signs that include nausea, dizziness, sensitivity to light, sound, smells, gastrointestinal distress, mobility issues, and speech difficulties. That's not including the extreme head pain many have with it. Many also carry a migraine rescue bag because you don't know when an attack is going to strike. Many are not lazy or faking or not wanting to work. Trust me, we all want to do things, but our body will not allow it. So next time you hear someone say they have a migraine, think about this and don't judge. Migraine is not defined by race, economic status, or one-size-fits-all disease. There are upcoming events. June 21st, show you care and wear a pair of sunglasses for support and post it and hashtag me or migraine awareness or shades for migraine. June 29th is officially Chronic Migraine Awareness Day. So lastly, think twice before you call migraine just a headache. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronetta. And do you want to come get this as well too? Sorry that I didn't see you there, but you did a much better job than I did, so I appreciate that.
Here, let me, oh.
All right, up next is number 2, which is the approval of the minutes. We have 2 minutes, the city council meeting held on May 13th and the special city council meeting held on May 19th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Changes, corrections, additions, or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Do we have anybody sign up for public participation? Do we have anybody wish to address us? Public participation. I know that I see Mr. Hamsey here, and I know that Mr. Hamsey, I just came from the Northeast Middle School project, and we need to get you to that building committee. But on your behalf, they are well aware of what you're thinking about to make sure that we have a potential naming opportunity at the school for your son who has served this city so well. They are looking at things like the gymnasium, but I will report to you as well too, the proper place to go do that will be the Board of Education as we move forward. But I think you have 100% support from the city council here, just as an endorsement. That would be a great thing to do for the city at large, but certainly for your family. So thank you for being here. Would you like to say a couple words? You just have to do it at the microphone so they can hear you. Thank you.
My name, Ahmad Abu Hamdi. My son, Alex Hamdi, the cop that was deceased and killed. And he, spent most of his life loving the city. And he had the opportunity to become a cop in many cities or towns here in Connecticut. But he said, no, Dad, I want to be in Bristol. I wanna be a cop in Bristol. So I said to him, I said, well, this is up to you. And when he was hired, he was a very happy guy, very happy guy. And, I didn't really say anything except, well, thank you for your doing. I mean, you're doing it for your own town. You were born here, grew up here, you have friends here, and that's your home. So, and I thought about middle school, Northeast Middle School, when they were building. He went to that school, and his sisters did go to that school too. So I thought maybe, we can have his name on that, in that new building. And just for people to remember him, that's the only thing that and we live right across from that city, that school. So it was something that I appreciate all of you for supporting that. And that will be something to repay his, sacrificing his life for the city. And thank you very much. I appreciate every one of you.
You're welcome. And I'll give you a couple of quick updates because I was just at that meeting, and so I'll do my report now. But July 12th, 2026 is the date that they hope to pass that building along to us. That's a tentative date. Obviously, things can change. They're probably behind schedule on a couple of things. So we will certainly make those types of things happen well before then, but they are wide open to the suggestions. The full committee there is very excited about it. And I will share with you personally, ran the police memorial torch run just last Thursday. And it was the hottest day that I've ever tried to run 7 miles. And your son got me through that, so I appreciate it. I was exhausted for days after, but I will do it again and again for Alex. I ran the first one with him, and my best memory is he put a 40-pound bag on my back to run and laughed his ass off at me for half a mile. So, I said that bad word, but sorry about that. But Alex would have appreciated that too. So thank you very much for coming.
I'd like to tell you, I thank you all. I thank all of you for the good job that you guys doing for the city. And it's unbelievable how much people in the city people appreciate your work, guys, in there. And I commend you for that.
Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. All right. Do we have anybody on Zoom that wishes to address the council? I don't see any hands raised. Okay, we'll move along then. Number 4 is announcements, and I'll start on my left-hand side with you, Eric. Go ahead. You're first. You ready?
I'm ready. I was just gonna.
what I'll do first, instead of doing it in committee stuff, I'll just do this one. The third annual Family Fun Day is Saturday, June 21st, from 11 to 2 at Bames, with a rain date of June 22nd, organized by the Bristol Early Childhood Alliance and School Readiness Council. This is a free and fun day for families with young children, with resources, games, and food truck. Also, if you have a child who will be 5 by September 1st, please register them for kindergarten ASAP. Children who are fully registered before the last day of school, June 18th, will be entered into a drawing to ride to their first day of kindergarten on a fire truck. Then, Bristol Works is sponsoring Startup. Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? Our startup panel is here to help. It will give you'll be able to bring your ideas in front of people, experts, valuable advice, resources and support, powerful connections, and chamber membership. This will be on June 12th from 5 to 7, Bristol Works, 430 North Main Street, and register at centralconnecticutchambers.org. Also, the Bristol Public Library is changing their hours to summer hours. So please look at the Bristol Public Library website to see the changes. Did that one. Meet the Carvers. It's presented by the Caroselli Museum. Discover the history of immigrant woodworkers as they follow through the American dream and carve their place into history. Let me open this up a little bit more. My eyes are getting bad. The artist, genius, and legacy carvers, such as Illusions, Loof, Carmel, Herschel, Dentes, and many others will be explored. So travel back in time with us and learn how they became an integral to the art and culture during the 19th and early 20th century. This will be at Bristol Public Library, 5 High Street, and that's going to be on Wednesday, June 25th at 6:30 p.m. And that's it.
Thanks. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Downtown Live at Rockwell Theater, well, we wrapped up the spring concert series, and our last event was an amazing comedy event. Jimmy Cash left everybody laughing. So if you missed this, don't worry, we'll have more comedy shows in the upcoming lineup. We're taking a break till fall, but we kick off that fall series with 1964, the tribute, which is Beatles music. So if you like Beatlemania or you like any kind of Beatles, you'll want to be at this concert. If you want to know about the events in advance, please go to our website, downtownlivect.com, and there you can even register, put your email address in, and you'll get updates as we book shows, because I heard Eaglemania is coming. We're trying to work to negotiate that contract, which would be fabulous. And also, if you like John Beardley, he is coming back this Christmas, and the first show is half sold out. So, I mean, it's only June, and people are booking seats for December. So please go onto the website and find your favorite show. And we're 10 days out from the launch, the opening of the Bristol Farmers Market. It kicks off on Saturday, June 21st at 10 Main Street. We like to emphasize that a lot of people still struggle to find where we had moved to. So that's 10 Main Street. And the opening bell will ring at 10 a.m. Vendor spaces are sold out, but there's still opportunities for nonprofits or any group that wants to volunteer and help us with setup and tear down. Once again, our farmers market is proud to say that we will be matching SNAP credits. This allows us to double the purchasing power for those facing food insecurity with farm-to-table fruits and vegetables, as well as dairy, meat, and breads. So that's a week from this Saturday, the 21st. Is Brian still in the audience? I can't see him on the other side of the podium because I have the American Legion Post 209 here is selling their 4th of July barbecue bash tickets. These tickets, you can win like some great items. Tickets are only $2. You can buy them at Southside Meat Market. You can buy them at Family Roots. You can Venmo them. I have that information. I will put it on my Facebook page. And these tickets are on sale now. Now, I'll tell you, they just did a fabulous job putting on the Forestville Memorial Day Parade. And so not only are they upkeeping our parks, the American Legion Post 209, but they put on some ceremonies that can really respect our veterans and educate us all. And they also bring some great events to the city. So please support American Legion Post 209. The drawing will be June 28th. And lastly, I just wanted to give an update for those who are following the Covanta Reworld issues with. We've had several people reach out to many of us on council or have come to meetings to talk about the humming noise that they hear. And Covanta Reworld did indicate that they were doing testing last week. They had scheduled it hopefully for the week prior, but believe it or not, it's been raining a lot. They had to postpone it, and they were scheduled to do testing in the evening on Thursday, June 4th. They were going to go back to all the original testing points where they had collected data before. They had indicated this and are sharing not only what their plan was, but when the report is prepared by the contractor, Bristol Burlington Health District will be party to this, as well as the city. So I know many of you who may be watching or listening are really want to know where this is. So we too are going to wait for those test results, and we'll share more when that comes available. Oh, I do. Oh, I'm
Before
sorry.
you jump off that while you get the other one, just to remind, because not everybody might have been here last month, we did post the improvements in the amount that Covanta Reworld has spent on the noise reduction and further enhancements. So if you want to see that, I think you posted it and we shared it on the mayor's page, correct? So.
Okay, and then lastly, this Friday, July 11th, I'm sorry, not this Friday, July 11th is going to be Canine Frankie's 4th Fiesta. So Canine Frankie is 4 years old, and I can't think of a better place to sponsor the birthday party than Man Ross Library. So in Forestville, Man Ross Library, the party will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All ages are welcome. Please leave your pets home unless it's a service animal. But come celebrate Frankie on July 11th. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Cheryl. I have two quick ones. One is just an update from last week. The history of Bristol, Connecticut's mayors is complete. I think we had shared it last week, but it should be now shared publicly for others to see it on the Bristol, Connecticut website, the mayor's page. So if you go to the mayor's page for the Bristol website, you should see it there. You reminded me with Post 209, they do great things, but Post 2 also has a couple of things coming up. There's an ability to sign up for the Art Ward Golf Tournament, and they're also doing a Jeep raffle. So if you go to bristolconnecticutlegion.com, you can sign up for a Jeep Wrangler and the Jeep raffle. And those are my announcements. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one announcement. The Barnes Nature Center is looking for volunteers this summer. They are looking for nature center docents. They have positions to welcome visitors, run the front desk, work the gift shop, assist members with sales, and support specialty programs. They have hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and in the afternoon, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And on Sunday, they have full day shifts, and also they have smaller shifts that can be broken up. So if you're a senior or if you're a student that's looking for volunteer hours this summer, they have their trails open and they have all their programs running. So they're looking for volunteers. If you're interested, you can go to their website or their Facebook page, or you could also call them at 860-583-1234. And that's the Barnes Nature Center on Shrub Road. Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Jackie. You have any announcements?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The summer concerts at Rockwell Park begin on June 24th through August 12th. So be sure to bring your lawn chair and a blanket, and make sure you wear your dancing shoes because it's going to be great music. So for a complete list of entertainment, you can go to their website. You can just Google Bristol CT Parks and Rec and get a complete list of who's going to be playing there. The other thing I wanted to mention is the outdoor pools open on June 28th, so the kids can go swimming. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Mark?
I do not have anything this month.
Okay.
Just a reminder that this Friday, June 13th, is First Responders Night at Muzzy Field for the Bristol Blues game. Gates open at 5, first pitch is at 6:30. And also one other quick thing, just a reminder, is next Wednesday, June 18th at 6 p.m. at the Bristol Senior Center, there will be a program, a 1-hour program seminar on ways to avoid homelessness. And this is some creative information given for our seniors. There's a lot of seniors right now who are making some really tough decisions on a daily and monthly basis, and choosing between, paying rent or whether or not to downsize. And this program is a group of real estate professionals that will give a lot of creative advice and things that our seniors can think about. So if you're not a member of the senior center and you're old enough to be one, sign up today, or otherwise bring your favorite senior down for this really great informative program.
Great, thanks. Any other announcements? Did we miss anything? Nope. We'll move on to number 5, which is the consent agenda. We have items A through J, but I believe we're going to withdraw something here. Go ahead.
I would like to withdraw I and J, please.
Great. So I will entertain a motion to first approve A through H.
Move approval?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And Eric, why don't you bring I and J to the floor? So make a motion to bring them.
I'd like to make a motion to bring items I and items J to the floor. And I'd like to ask.
Second.
Great. Now you can ask. Go ahead.
Can I ask Donna
Volstich
Volstich
to come up.
Please
and
come up.
talk about this. So lots of changes happening now with early education. We're lucky to have Donna with us because it's a very confusing time, but we thought it'd be good to have her explain generally what's going on so that we understand that there are some really good changes coming. So go ahead, Donna.
Okay, so I and J are actually very connected. So as I told you all back in, I think at the December joint board, the state is undergoing a significant amount of change for early childhood. Also, a lot of money just got approved at the state level too, but we're not going to talk about that right now. The Office of Early Childhood has typically given the city of Bristol our allocation, and it would be for administrative funds for like my role, as well as all of the program funding, which is subsidized childcare for families from ages birth through age 5. The state's going to start contracting directly with the programs themselves. So the city won't have to manage that about $4.5 million going forward, which is a good thing for our comptroller's office. The interesting thing, though, what the state is going to do is they're going to contract, instead of contracting directly with the city to manage the administrative funds. And my role will be very similar. I'll still go out and monitor the programs, but we'll have other additional responsibilities. We'll be doing family and child programming. We'll be doing community needs assessment. We'll have parent ambassadors under us as well. So my role will expand a bit. They hired an intermediary. They're calling it a statewide intermediary, Shine Early Learning. They're the ones listed under J. And the Office of Early Childhood will give Shine all of the money to then contract individually with each community. Apparently, they'll be providing us as well professional development, they're supposedly providing support for us, not just giving us money. Otherwise, it would be a really wasteful move, in my opinion. They don't start till July 1. They're not even a statewide organization. They are out of state. So they're going to take some time to get up and running. So the state is giving this other organization, the Connecticut Network for Children and Youth, mentioned in I, the funding to provide what they're calling a stabilization grant for each community. So it's basically a quarter well, it might be less than that, but a quarter, we're going to use it for the first quarter of funding for salary and a little bit to, for some overhead as well for the city. Once the state, or once Shine is ready to contract with Bristol, they're going to give us 100% of our dollars, and we'll be able to then use this $60,000. We'll repurpose it. But the bottom line is we have to submit an application this week to accept the $60,000 grant that will give us funding over the summer and allow the mayor to enter into a contract with the city of Bristol to enter into a contract with Shine once they get up and going. We don't know when that will be, but that's part of the application, that we're accepting the role as the fiduciary. So quick thing, the changes in July 1, all these changes happen. School readiness will no longer be a name anymore. Will be actually, program will be known as Early Start Connecticut. Our school readiness council will also have a new name at the state level called the local governance partner, which is mentioned in, I think, J there. We're not going to call ourselves that. It doesn't tell anybody anything. We're going to be called the Bristol Early Childhood Collaborative. But essentially the money goes from the Office of Early Childhood to Shine and then to the city and to the local councils. So there's a whole lot more. We could sit down for, if you want, and we can have like an hour meeting and I can really explain it to you. But for tonight, I wanted to make sure you knew what you were voting on. So if you have questions, happy to take them.
Yep, we're open now.
I just thought there was a lot of moving parts to this, and I wanted everybody to be more aware of how it was going to work.
There are so many moving parts. I still don't know our allocation yet. We know it's a minimum of 150,000. It could be up to like 330,000. And if we get 330,000, you'll all hear the scream from my office when I get that letter. A lot of admin money.
Yep, which will allow you to bring other people on to help you as well, too.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing more of me in the coming months.
Good.
For other reasons.
So what we're going to vote on now is the $60,000 for the salary and overhead over the summer, and to authorize us to start moving forward with Early Start Connecticut and J. So it's just as listed here. We just took it off the consent so we could talk about it. But any other further questions, comments? I'll call the vote then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. You said thank you before we voted, so I'm glad they voted yes. Good, though. All right, number 6, we'll move on to reports and committee reports.
I thought we did them together.
We did them together. You put them together. We're good with that, right? I and J, Ed. You want to do them separately? That was the motion, I believe. Yeah, he brought them both.
Okay.
Excuse me. All right, number 6 is reports, committee reports. Excuse me. I'll turn it over to you, Susan, to do real estate first, and I got my voice back too.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Okay, spreading. The first one, I hereby move that the city council accept the offer from Connecticut Home Investors LLC or its assigns in response to RFP request for proposals number 2025-080 entitled Sale of Surplus Property at 36 Eastview Street, Assessors Map 24, Lot 56. The terms of acceptance of this proposal are as follows. 1, the purchase price shall be a cash transaction of $29,000. Number 2, the purchaser shall construct a single-family house. Number 3, all costs associated with this transaction, including but not limited to costs of surveys, maps, closing costs, publication notices, etc., shall be the responsibility of the purchaser. The city of Bristol shall incur no costs in this transaction. I further move that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to sign any documents necessary to effectuate this motion, and that this matter be referred to Corporation Council.
Second.
Great. Any further comments on this, Sue, and a little background?
This was a lot that the city came into possession of. I believe this one was a foreclosure. And so we're not really in the business of collecting parcels of property. So this was kind of an experiment. So this first one, we did send out to an RFP process. And we did end up getting 3 bids, and this bid was the one that met all of the criteria set out in the RFP.
Any of the real estate committee members want to comment further? Any questions from anybody? I'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. And then I know you just had a real estate committee meeting and a similar type of action in a different way. So do you want to go ahead and bring that one up now, Sue?
Okay, I'll read the motion first. I hereby move that the city council accept the offer from Stanislaw Nadaldi and Christina Nadaldi, I probably said their names wrong, sorry, or their assigns for the purchase of city-owned property known as 91 Goodwin Street, Assessors Map 25A, Lot 36, for the sales price of $50,000. This sale is contingent on the buyers being able to obtain a building department approval to construct a residence containing approximately 1,700 square feet and/or 3 bedrooms. I further move that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to sign any documents necessary to effectuate this motion, and that this matter be referred to Corporation Council.
Second. Great. Go ahead, talk about this one, Sue.
Again, another piece of property that we acquired by foreclosure, and with this one, this was the experiment that we referred to last month. This one went out to our real estate broker, and it was actually listed for sale out there in the MLS, Realtor.com, Zillow, and everything. We had a special real estate committee meeting this evening prior to city council, and our real estate broker presented us with 2 offers. It is a very healthy real estate market right now. And we ended up accepting the one offer that checked, again, met all of the criteria and was the best solid offer on terms and conditions.
Mark or Eric, anything else to add?
Nope.
Nope. Questions from anybody else on the council? Comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And then I'll just give you a second here too. So we've done the bid process, we've done the real estate process, and what are you guys going to be working on moving
So
forward?
next Tuesday night, the 3rd Tuesday of every month, is the real estate committee meeting at 5 p.m. in the room next door. I encourage everyone to come because my real estate colleagues, Councilman Mark Dickow and Eric Rosengren, we will be discussing a new policy on how we can, different parcels of property, some fit very well with the RFP process and some might be better suited for, listing with our real estate broker. So we're going to be discussing a policy because in the end, when we dispose of property, when we sell property, we need to do it in a way that is best for the city of Bristol and our taxpayers.
And in both these cases, we're going to have 2 new properties added to the grand list over time as they build these.
2 new houses built.
Exactly. Good. All righty. Let's move on to B, which is salary committee. And Cheryl, I'll let you
Yes.
take that one.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve effective July 1, 2025, a 2% salary increase in the 2024-2025 salary schedule, including steps for all non-bargaining classifications, and refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Second.
Great. And a
Yes.
little background here. Yep.
We've done this every year. These are, about 15 to 19 employees. Pardon me? 18.
Oh.
Okay. And that are not members of any particular bargaining group. But we've always taken the rate increase that is with the BPSA, the Bristol Professionals and Supervisors Association contract, and mirrored that same increase for the raises for these individuals. And that year, we'll be voting on that further down in the agenda. And that's where we recommend the 2% increase.
Great. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
I think Sue had a comment.
oh, sorry, Sue.
It was just a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does this apply to non-bargaining members who have retired, or is that completely separate?
No.
Active only.
These are active employees only. Yep. So there's no cost of living increases in any of our contracts or anything. And these people are by contract for their time period here. So
Thank you.
good question. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The motion carries. Number C, or letter C, is ordinance committee. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Sure, I hereby move that section 7-18 fire suppression systems inspection of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bristol, Connecticut is hereby amended to read as follows. I further move that the city clerk publish said amendments and additions to the Code of Ordinances and that they become effective upon the expiration of 14 days from the date of their publication in a newspaper of general circulation in the City of Bristol.
Second.
Great. General comments on this one, Sebastian? We've been
Sure,
through this a couple
passed
times.
through ordinance unanimously and through a public hearing, which received no input. Essentially allowing the fire marshal or FD to leverage fines for noncompliance with fire suppression systems and including private property fire hydrants, and also an appeals process part of this as well.
Excellent. And we'll be taking those. How many private fire hydrants we have? We have quite a few, don't we? So this is helping us manage
What was
those.
the number 8, I believe.
No, it's like 184 or
that's
something
right.
like that.
Sorry, I didn't mean
That
to
was a
put you on the
little
spot,
off.
but it's a bunch.
It's okay. I was off on the number of employees.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. Good. Questions or comments from anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That motion carries. Let's go ahead and we'll start on my left again too for any other committee reports. Eric, do you have any committee reports?
Just that there will be a Board of Ed special meeting. One's going to start at Finance and Operations tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then they have a special meeting at 7 p.m. It's going to go over a lot of the budget stuff and some discussion of some new hires and such. So anyone interested, it will be tomorrow. That's all I have.
Cheryl, any other committee reports?
Yes, this month I'd like to, through the Arts and Culture Commission, talk about our poet laureate that we have in the city, because a lot of people may not know that Tom Lagasse is our Bristol poet laureate, and he's had a busy time since he's been put in this position. One of the things he's done is he's worked with Creative Jam to have an open mic night. And this is people who can come in, they can read, they can say poems, they can maybe perform. But this is done at, as I mentioned, Creative Jam. The first open mic was in February. The average attendance is 30, and one night there were 50 people. And they've had attendees from all over the state: Bridgeport, Norwich, Coventry, Berlin, Litchfield, Morris, and many local. There's writers, they had a rapper, as I mentioned, a saxophone player, and a 9-year-old singer. He's also been involved with poetry in the community. April was National Poetry Month, and he placed a small display of poems in the Man Ross Library, hopefully to get into both libraries in 2026 with approval from the library board. He also started in April to write a monthly creative column in the Bristol edition. This fall, some of the programs is Poetry as a Memoir. This will be a 3-week series at Man Ross Library, and the idea is to have people find writing poetry through their own experiences. There will be self-publishing, spearheaded by Sharon Arcego, who is a city employee, and they're putting together a panel discussion on how to self-publish. This will be at the main library. He's also represented Bristol out of town. He's been in Milford to join the State Poet Laureate Conference, and with several other poet laureates for a night of music and poetry. He'll be part of a reading in Pomfret at the Vanilla Bean in October, and he's tentatively scheduled to read a Mum Festival poem on September 26th, and maybe we can have him come to council one of these meetings and in opening ceremonies read one of his poems. And lastly, he's looking to put together a youth poetry contest in the spring of 2026. So more to come on that. So I just wanted to make everybody aware that we do have a poet in our community that's doing a lot for the arts. Animal control facility. We will have a special meeting next Wednesday at 9 a.m. at the Cross Street facility. This is specifically a pre-bid walkthrough, as the RFP for the architect has been issued. We're going back out to bid for that service.
Excellent.
That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. I actually have one this month, and I wasn't able to attend the Veterans Council meeting due to another engagement, but they let me know that they have donated $2,500 to the St. Joseph's Cemetery for a flagpole and a solar light. And I thought it was important to let the community know, and they've talked quite a bit about this, is on Memorial Day, they used to put flags on every single gravestone for the veteran. It became, number one, cost prohibitive, number two, very difficult to manage. So I just want everybody to know, and this was their decision, and there are some people that are upset about it, but the veterans are very happy with their decision to now create areas in each of the cemeteries that will be adorned every Memorial Day. And on behalf of those veterans, for all the veterans there, it's just going to be easier for them to manage. You all may remember that the city did give them a donation last year to pay for those flags to let them do it one more time. But in tough budget years, it's harder for us to do that as well. So Brian and team do a very good job on that, and I wanted to let you all know that. Sebastian.
Nothing additional.
Jackie.
Yes, the new fitness loop at Rockwell Park, that's been completed. And very exciting. Planning for a ribbon cutting and pickleball tournament at Page Park in celebration of the new courts is underway, and details will follow at a later date because nothing's been pinned down yet, but
Later in July, right? We're looking July launch? I think they said.
midsummer is when we anticipate the courts to be completed, so
Okay,
probably July.
good. You're good, Jackie? Yep.
That's-
Go ahead, Mark.
Like to, for economic development, there's tractor trailer training school, Allstate, they're going to be coming into the Southeast Business Park, just off of Redstone Hill Road at lot 10 and 11.
Excellent. Yep. Another good business in town. Sue, any announcements or through committee reports? No? Okay, good. We'll move to number 7, which is old business. Does anybody have any old business? Not aware of any. How about new business?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Mark.
As we all know, we received a copy of the letter from the attorney from the D'Amato's questioning our emergency purchasing procedures for the demolition of the West End Athletic Club, but I have some questions in regards to that. The first is the letter. As they discussed, this is not a typical demolition, so I was wondering why a large-scale company with a solid reputation and the equipment needed would not get a call, like D'Amato, especially when D'Amato is one of the city's largest taxpayers. They pay about $1 million in taxes to the city of Bristol, and not getting a phone call regarding this when they are very qualified to do so. This is not a business-friendly stance to support our existing businesses and the local residents that they employ. Second, I asked the tax collector for a history of taxes paid on 9 Divinity Street. In the 15 years of the history that she provided, the Castaneda family and their LLC, Blue Cascade, have paid their taxes every single year. I believe they have owned it for 24 years, but the records are only kept for 15 years. So we collected $52,000 plus in property taxes from them, and now about to demolish their building and saddle them with a lien of anywhere from $280,000 to $300,000. According to an estimate provided by the chief building official, again, these people have paid their taxes every year with no revenue coming in from the property, and we are going to demolish it and stick them with the bill. And why in a tight budget year are we willing to take on this expense? Because the building is only appraised at $162,000. So I have my doubt that we will ever collect on that demolition lien, which means the taxpayers are on the hook for this. And here's the irony. The officials have a structural engineering report that says the steel girders are intact and in perspective, and a prospective buyer is aware of the roof failure and has a plan. But apparently we are going to judge them as to whether they are able to follow through without knowing anything about the buyers. I'm also concerned that there seems to be a code enforcement committee trick that they move these discussions to a workshop meeting like they did with this topic on April 16th. Is this to avoid complying with FOIA? There is no this does not appear to be a meeting. There does not appear to be meeting minutes for these workshops. We are not the judge and the jury here. We should be giving these Bristol residents the time necessary to see if this proposed sale works, with of course some oversight from the building department to ensure that there is progress and it's not the empty process just to buy time from the new buyers who are interested in mixed use development. I'm going to say it again for the record. It is appalling that we be treating longtime Bristol residents in this manner, and I am glad that the D'Amatos are calling out the bidding process as well. I'm 100% in favor of stopping the demolition actions and allowing the Castaneda family and or their LLC to sell the building and see what can happen here. This is an important nostalgic property in the West End that means something. I have also asked the Historical Society to weigh in. Our downtown saw enough demolition in the 60s, and I am in favor of saving whatever we can, especially in light of all the improvements that have occurred in the West End Center and improved parking for landlocked buildings like this. This building has a history, and I think it has the future alongside the O'Donnell building, the former Novak's Pharmacy West End Pizza and Real Cafe.
Great. I don't know if I hear a motion in there, but I just want to address a couple things. First of all, the bid process and how the code enforcement issue worked. Technically, we are in what we call a pre-litigation because we all got that letter situation. So I'm not going to comment on that all here, and I'm going to ask all of us to not comment on that. With regards to the process, we will actually be appointing a couple people, reappointing and appointing a new person to the Building Code of Appeals tonight. So the process is the process for these types of actions. We've had workshops for many months now, and these workshops are just sharing of information, but all of the code enforcement actions. Sue Tyler does a great job on the first Wednesday of every month in the code enforcement meeting. So, this is a proper procedure that we don't like to take, and I am proud to say that we have not taken down any buildings up to this point. But I will just, from my own personal experience, I didn't get to do the walkthrough, but the pictures that I saw of the building and the appeals process that was held up after a site visit tells me that we need to trust those people that we appoint to go through that process. So I feel as good as I could about it. It's never in a good situation for health and safety when you need to take a building down. So I appreciate your comments. Any other new business? You can ask a question.
Yeah, I have a question for Mark. Was there a bona fide sale between the former owner and a prospective buyer?
There is a prospective buyer with the current owner, which is the Castaneda family.
But there's no bona fide contract of a private deal?
No.
And just to interject, and I could be wrong, Corp Counsel could help me on this, none of that has any relevance when you have a health and safety concern in a building that is been neglected. We actually call this demolition by neglect because for 26 years there hasn't been any work done here, so it's unfortunate.
And also, just to reiterate, from what I understand is the workshops are just training mechanisms for staff and for commissioners, but no properties are actually discussed and decisions taken unless they're in the actual code enforcement meeting.
I just want to clarify something you
Right.
said. Properties are discussed, but no actions are taken, no votes are taken. This is just a learning process. Through the code enforcement process, we have fire, police, the building crew, and everything. And I give Sue kudos. We run it very well.
And the public is
welcome.
And has attended our workshops.
And I will also share, just in this case, or be completely transparent on the record, a prospective buyer for 9 Divinity showed up to one of those workshops and saw the pictures and walked out. So it's an open process, open meeting, and I feel very good on how it's been handled. All righty, we're going to move on. Any other new business? We are on to number 9, which is resignations. Can you let us know who has resigned?
Yep, so I have 3. Rick Raymond from Zoning Board of Appeals, David Butkus from Retirement Board, and Miguel Salguero from Youth Commission.
Through the chair, I make a motion to accept the resignations and have a letter sent to them thanking them for their service.
Second.
All those in favor? Anybody opposed? All right, we'll move on to the new appointments, and as I've already alluded to, under the Building Code of Appeals, we have an appointment to take Tom Lozier, who was an alternate, and make him an irregular. That term will expire on 8/27, and we will also be appointing, I think he's still in the audience, Charlie Talmadge, as an alternate. That term will expire on 8/25.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. On the Commission with Disabilities, I'm pleased to ask for a motion to reappoint Ruth Graham. Her term will expire in 6/28.
Move approval.
Second?
All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We have Diane listed here, but she's under her contract. Do we need to do both? Do it here? No, we'll do it later. All right. Under the Board of Finance, I mentioned at the previous meeting before this, unfortunately, we're losing Glenn Heiser, who's been a great member, but I'm very excited to put forth and ask for the motion to appoint John Lodovico, who will replace Glenn, and his term will expire in 6/29.
Move approval.
Second. Great. Everybody wanted to do that one. John's going to be great. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Motion carries. On inland wetlands, we're going to appoint Joseph Longo. His term will expire on 6/28.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And then on our retirement board, fire always has a position on that. Dave Buckus is stepping down. So I needed a motion to appoint Alan Rudolowitz, or Rudy, and I actually got his last name right, I think. His term will expire on 7/28.
Move approval.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. On the Youth Commission, we want to reappoint both Rich Kilby and Matt Gadawala. Their terms will expire on 6/28.
So move.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I think I saw Rory on earlier, but ZBA, we're going to appoint Rory Gio and push him up as a regular member. That term will expire on 7/26.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Rory. Zoning, and I think these are the last ones. Yep, we have two reappointments. One is for Richard Harlow. His term expires on 6/28, and so doesn't John Lafreniere, who will also expire on 6/28.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right. Then we have two other appointments to department head positions. So I'll entertain a motion to appoint and enter into a written employment agreement with Comptroller Diane Waldron. It will be effective on June 19th, 2025. This will be a 4-year term per the attached employment agreement. And I also need the authorization as mayor or acting mayor to sign the said agreement and refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Second? Move. Oh, so moved. Second.
Got the order there. Again, rush to make sure that this one happens, which is a great sign for Diane. Any comments or questions from anybody here? I'll just say, thank you to Diane. She's done a great job. I'm very happy to see her continue in this position and been invaluable in a very tough couple of years for the budget. So I'll say thank you to Diane, but I'll actually call the vote right now too. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And then 10C, I already preluded this. Unfortunately, Roger is going to be moving on, but we're going to have an overlap here. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the hiring of Nancy Haynes. By the way, I think I did see Nancy on Zoom. So Nancy's up there. Maybe she can come off Zoom so we can see her if she can hear me. And this will be effective on June 11th, 2025. And our appointment as purchasing agent for a 4-year term will begin on July 28th, 2025, when Roger resigns. Nancy, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on one second. So Jackie moved it. Can I have a second?
Second.
There we go. All right, yes, we can hear you now, Nancy. Say hello to the team.
Well, hello, team. I'm Nancy Haynes, and I want to thank you after you vote, hopefully, and just say that I know I have big shoes to fill with Roger's retirement. I've known Roger for quite a few years, and I look forward with working with both the mayor and the council.
Excellent. And Nancy, just a quick overview of kind of your background and experience.
Sure. I began my public purchasing experience for the city of Hartford, where I was purchasing agent for 10 years. And as purchasing agent for the city of Hartford, I purchased everything for the city as well as non-educational for the Board of Education. After I left the city of Hartford, I worked in 3 separate school districts as a school business manager. I left that and went back to municipal side, and I was with the town of Bloomfield as their purchasing and risk manager for 12 years.
Thank you. And Nancy went through an interview process. Thank you to Roger and Diane and others that helped us through this, and Jim through the process in the city. So any questions for Nancy? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Nancy. We'll see you in the office tomorrow.
Thank you. See you soon tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
Bye.
June 11th. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, we'll move on to number 11, which is contracts, and 11A is I'll entertain a motion to award the contract 2C25068 Brace Avenue Storm Drainage Replacements to Martin Lavero Contract in the amount of $1,789,855, and to authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effect said contract.
Move approval?
Second.
Any questions or comments here? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. B is to authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute a purchase and sale agreement and complete the property transaction subject to the approval of Corp Counsel with Carrier Construction Incorporated or its assigns for the sale of 894 Middle Street, lots 17, 17-3, 17-41, as recorded on the A2 survey map known as property boundary, topographic survey 894 Middle Street by Civil 1 for the purchase price of $625,000 for purposes of constructing an industrial development that includes approximately 7 buildings and approximately 25 to 46 tenant spaces to accommodate tenant companies, including but not limited to manufacturers, specialty trade contractors, and similar uses allowed by Bristol zoning regulations.
Move approval.
Second. Great. And Justin, if you would like to come up, you can. You may or may not need to. This might seem a little redundant to some of you, and if I explain this correctly, maybe to make it simple, is that in the agreement that we've had with the carriers, everybody knew what the boundaries were, but in one of our first motions, it wasn't quite perfect, so we are just perfecting it with this motion. And Justin, go ahead.
I'm not sure I could do any better than that. I apologize. The parcels were incorrect the first time around, and so to make it official, we have to come back and just ask for the same motion. The only change is the parcel numbers.
Yep. Questions or comments? Everybody good with that? We're gonna let Justin off the hook today quickly, which is good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, number C is to a motion to approve a 1-year labor agreement extension between the City of Bristol and the Bristol Professionals and Supervisors Association, otherwise known as BPSA, Nutmeg Labor Union, effective July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, with a 2% salary increase on wages indicated in Appendix B, which was effective on July 1, 2024, with the remaining terms and conditions unchanged, and refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Move approval.
Second. Great. And just to give a little bit of background on this, BPSA came to both Jim and I and asked for this. This is something that happens occasionally when negotiations and a tough budget year could be tough, to be honest, or whatever the case may be, but they approached us on this, and I'm certainly in favor of it. And I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Go to D. Actually, we're done with 11. So number 12 is I'll entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for July 8th, 2025 at 6:15 PM in council chambers to consider entering into a memorandum of understanding with CMDA to assist in developing Bristol's downtown district. And Justin will talk about this one a little bit more. Can I have a motion to approve first?
So move.
Second.
Great.
Okay. So thanks everyone for having us tonight. CMDA, new quasi-public agency, created at the state level. That group has been funded to the tune of 60 million originally, and I think there's more money coming their way after the session. But CMDA is set up to help towns basically outside the greater Hartford region apply for funding to help us with infrastructure in our downtowns. The idea is CMDA funds downtowns, but also areas in and around transit, like transit stations and similar setups like that. And so we'll hopefully have the opportunity to apply for grants ourselves for infrastructure in the future, but critically, developers may be able to apply for loans and other types of funding for specifically housing in and around the downtown area. So in order to make ourselves eligible for that, we need to have this public hearing. The city council would be asked to approve and give the mayor authority to enter into a memorandum of understanding, and then we're sort of off and running. Hopefully have the opportunity to apply for funds. Dr. Dawn Ledger, our grants administrator, met with CMDA with myself, and we're pretty excited about the possibilities.
Great. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Jackie.
So this is all state funding? Am I understanding
Yes.
this correctly?
Yes. Yep.
Good question. Any others?
Yeah, what kind of things is this funding exactly used for?
We're going to see, but the intent is for infrastructure, infrastructure that can support TOD, what's called transit-oriented development. So who knows? Bus stations, bus stops, some sidewalk and pedestrian infrastructure.
Upgrades.
So for me, one of the things that excites me is the potential for funding assists for developers. It's so hard for developers, housing developers, apartment developers to make deals work these days. And having an extra hand in that, I think will help some of our projects.
That was when I was wondering, because you had mentioned the housing piece, but I didn't know where, you know what I mean? So they'll be able to use some of that funding to help developers.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to see, but I think that is actually the focus.
Good.
Is helping these deals get done because they're tough.
Thank you.
Great.
Through the chair, is the focus affordable housing? Is that a portion of this?
It's not specific to what type of housing, actually. In talking with the director of CMDA, he actually, for our discussion, focused more on market rate housing. There are different funding sources at the state level for different types of affordable housing. I think that enters the mix with CMDA, but certainly the prospect of market rate housing is also on the table too.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on in housing right now. The legislature just passed an overarching bill that actually CCM just asked today to have the governor veto, but we kind of fit in the middle of a lot of that, and we don't look like we'll be too pushed back by that because we have enough affordable housing according to the parameters that they're asking for. And so we might have a mix, and I think we need to be open to what the possibilities are, and also remember that as developers come in, you know, they have the ability to build these in certain ways. So, and I just want to also make another comment that affordable housing now is a pretty big range. And so, you know, we started a project over at Sessions that was specifically called workforce housing. Well, that term has kind of evaporated away, and they have a lot of different permutations. So we'll have to see how it goes, but I think it's a great thing. We also, just to be technical here, could almost be eligible under a TOD, transit-oriented development, because we have the bus line in the downtown area, but we're covered both ways. So I wanted to mention that. And by the way, we're only voting here on putting a public hearing together. We all have the resolution in our packet, but that will come after the public hearing.
I wanted to include that just so you all.
Yeah, it gives us good background and look, so it's perfect. All right, any other questions for Justin now? We'll have another opportunity to ask him some questions after the
Just as
public
an
hearing.
Administrative point, so this would be before our next council meeting essentially.
Yes, yep.
6:15, okay.
Yep, and purposely so that we could potentially move this forward. I guess that's the other thing I should add here too, that time is of the essence here. So this will be a competitive process. And we want to make sure that when we're asking for funds, we're not the 169th town in line. It won't quite be 169 towns, but that's how many cities and towns there are. So
I could just tell you that in meeting with the director, I think we were like third stop on his schedule that day, and he's headed all over the state because all the communities obviously interested in this. So.
All right, so we're going to vote now on the public hearing, 6:15 before the next city council meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Justin.
I'm out.
Yep, so the next one is, although, wait a second, a little early or no?
Well, we can just
yeah.
remove her item and
Yep.
have her vote on the other ones and then have her
Yeah.
leave for that one.
Go ahead. We'll just vote on that
Okay.
one first, and then we'll bring her back. How's that? So, well, you can vote on the whole thing without her. We still have a quorum, I think. So Sue is actually recusing herself because she's connected with one of the recipients. But I want to entertain a motion to approve the CDBG Consolidated 5-Year Plan for 2025, 2029, and the Annual Action Plan for 2025, 2026 for the City of Bristol as recommended by the Economic and Community Development Board, and to refer this to the Board of Finance for action.
So moved.
Second.
Great. So CDBG funding this year was a little bit touch and go. We actually were thinking that it might be eliminated altogether. The funds came back a little less than we had hoped or expected, but I want to give kudos to Dr. Ledger and the team that she put together to make this happen. We have stayed focused on the priorities, and as a note, and actually this is why Sue walked out too, we gave the most funding to St. Vincent de Paul to help the homeless situation, which is definitely a big consideration and part of what the 5-year plan looks at and the annual action plan. So you have the figures in front of you, and are there any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We're good, Sue? She's coming back in. Give her a half a second. We're on to 14. 14A is to entertain a motion to authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute a Safe Streets and Roads for All grant in the amount of $128,000 and to execute any and all related documents necessary to effectuate said grant. The total project cost will be $160,000 with a city cost of $32,000, subject to the Board of Finance for approval.
So moved.
Approval?
Second.
You guys got that? We're gonna give Jackie the motion, I think, and Sebastian the second. Ray's here for any questions on this, but we are trying to move to the Safe Streets for All. This is where a lot of the funding is, so that we can, take advantage of that matched funding. It's small match comparatively, but we can get a lot accomplished with these types of things. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, 14B is to entertain a motion to authorize the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Naugatuck Council of Governments and the City of Bristol regarding the Mad River Watershed Based Plan. Said agreement includes the City of Bristol's cost share of $16,000 to complete the estimated $230,000 study.
Move approval.
Second.
Very similar to what we had before, but this is going to help us with our water management. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. C is entertain a motion to authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute a contract amendment to the Jerome Avenue Bridge contract number 2624061 with PJF Construction Corporation in the amount of $91,931. Said amendment shall increase the PGF contract amount from $2,857,746.47 to $2,949,677.47.
Move approval?
Second.
Jackie, then Sebastian. this was a tougher project. I'll just say that up front. I think there were some questions here. We had obviously issues with the pilings that delayed the project. Towards the end, there was opportunities to get the project done faster and be ready for the paving to happen and get that bridge open and not do one-way traffic, which would have created even more hassles over. And I just want to give Ray and his team kudos for getting this one done. It was a very tough detour for people in that area, and I've heard great things afterwards. So we're in a much better spot right now. Questions or comments?
Just one question one of my constituents asked,
Okay.
or at least asked me to ask. There was no way the engineering company could foresee that ledge or having to move the piling. There was, and if so, why didn't they take the
Yeah.
hit financially?
I'm going to let Ray's engineering perspective help us with this because I would be taking a big stab on it.
You know, as part of this, Ray Rogosinski, Director of Public Works, as part of the design, we go in and do a boring program. So we take, borings. The purpose of the borings is to find out where rock, is. So there was the general location of the rock, was known. This happened to be an obstruction. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon. You do, borings and in between the building, borings, there's obstructions, which is what occurred on this, bridge.
So the test pits are just done somewhat randomly where you're going to be, but you're not testing every single spot.
Correct. I appreciate that. It's just, you could explain it a little bit better than I could. So you can listen to this. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And D, I'm going to entertain a motion to authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute a contract amendment to the Jerome Avenue Bridge Design and Construction Administration Services. That's contract number 292046 with Wengel, McDonald, and Costello Incorporated in the amount of $96,608. Said amendment shall increase Wengel, McDonald, and Costello Inc. Contract amount from $462,902.99 to $559,000, $510.99.
Move approval.
Second.
Comments or questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I don't think we have anything else to come before, so we do.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mark.
I misspoke earlier. Kathy Castaneda is actually online listening to this, and they do have a bona fide contract for 9 Divinity Street.
Okay, I appreciate the information. Anything else to come before us?
I just want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day who's celebrating this Sunday. So,
Excellent. Hopefully we get Father's Day summer weekend. I think 17
nice.
Saturdays in a row. It's going to rain now, but we'll see. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
so move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.